Right, hello to all those far and wide. Today you are watching the Osabroni backup channel. I have created my very own Prussian Shako. My very own homemade Prussian Shako. It's not necessarily finished just yet. But I was looking through several different units online, and because using Mountain Blade Napoleonic Wars is just easier to have the research done already for you. This is so have units that would use this for short, the Freikorps. We also have the Mecklenburg units that have this kind of design, right? As you can vaguely see there. So those are those units, and so that's the elite infantry. So the allied infantry. Slash or not, but we have the sharpshooters for that. You can see. So I don't necessarily have a uniform for this. Right, and then this is the uniform, I guess. So obviously it's not Napoleonic era. The uniform itself, as in the shirt, the coat. I was obviously trying to go for a more late Franco kind of impression before I made that hat. And of course, when it comes to the pants, off of Amazon, the when it comes to this blue and red kind of facings, the French may have had these during the Napoleonic Wars. I go back and forth with the naval blue shirt with, with America, with the UK, with Prussia, France, and Sardinia, Piedmont. So there's that also. And then, as you guys can see, with the cuffs there, it's kind of sort of had that design, right? And then in this case, the facings are a red and yellow. Now, obviously, this that I'm trying to do over here is probably going to have a makeover for which it's for. But there's half of that. And then I think in the Rhinesboon, or maybe the French specifically, we kind of had to have something similar. Right, yeah. So, I mean, it's not too similar. I mean, the chest is, when it comes to the facings. I'll definitely have a look at the... Alright, I'm a little bit wrong about that. I thought it was here, but we don't have those kind of facings. But as you can tell, so really either way, if I had, a white shirt underneath or whatever you would call that. I guess my point is that, here's the Shako. Um, it's made with felt and brass buttons that I got from Hobby Lobby. The same thing with the felt and the white cotton. Um, this is like a Clorox rubber rug right here where my thumb is. And then I used wax string. There's a Clorox, or excuse me, this is, I don't know what this is. This came out of a leather bag that doesn't feel like leather. Um, Cardboard there. This doesn't really fit my head very well, so I'll probably have to put something in the middle here as a liner to um, not sink into my head too much. Here's the leather. This is kind of like a thin piece of leather, and then this is the actual stuff. Um, and of course, I use thicker needles. Um, one piece of I added a second layer, as you might be able to tell right there. That's why there's like a lot of different colors and uh, stitching patterns. That I don't really have can't really afford a sewing machine, nor do I know how to use one. So, but what I'm gonna try to plan to do is add like a metal wire, and then as I said for like the a lot of this gray leather, a lot of this brown leather is from Hobby Lobby. A lot of these strings are pretty much from the same. This Clorox rubber is from Walmart. You can find it in the trash bin area. Um, and the felt you can either get at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. Go to Hobby Lobby for the more um, and go to um, called Joanne Fabrics. So, I mean, that's really it for the hat as of for now. And of course, the uniform. Obviously, there's a lot to improve upon, but yeah, I mean, something like a shape like this, um, kind of shape, or even a, or you just have to, make things large when you're cutting it out. Um, it doesn't really fit my head, but you kind of get the shape that you want. So definitely had to probably add a little bit more so it stops sulking into my head a little bit. But there's that. Just when you're making some of these, you just want to add like a circle and then um, wrap around your cylinder, um, a cylinder around the cloth, and then once you kind of try it on, when you have like these little tiny areas on both ends, see what fits tightly, what doesn't fit tightly. Um, then you can adjust how much you need to wrap it around until it fits your head. I didn't really do that, but I guess in retrospect, That's what I would do next time. And then of course I was looking at the chin strap and the chin strap on the Prussian Shakos during the Napoleonic Wars, and it does not seem as though they were decorated like the French were or whoever else, maybe for the cavalry, but while looking at the infantry, not so much. So, obviously, well, for some of the chateaus, they would have had elaborate designs, but I kind of just went with the more simpler design because I don't really have the metal skills, and I really could not find a Prussian eagle that was on Amazon and everywhere else that was selling Prussian eagles. Um, for the emblems for the front of the hat was just too expensive, and that could have been used to replace or make like a Pickelhaube instead. Um, so this is this is the impression. So that's that.